You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
Thanks to Concordia University, Wisconsin for supporting The Coffee Hour. Find out more about Concordia University, Wisconsin at cuw.edu.
Live uncommon.
Do you like history, Sarah?
Do I like history?
Sorry, it was a rhetorical question.
Of course I like history.
Like history. How about church history?
Yes.
But more recent church history.
Yes.
Some local church history. A really cool thing that has been a tradition for my family for many years. The last couple of years we haven't got to do it, but for many years it was a tradition. Participating in the Christmas Country Church Tour that takes place here in the Midwest in Southeast Missouri. Joining us today, Trish Ersfeld. She's Director of Perry County Heritage Tourism. Trish, welcome to the Coffee Hour.
Thank you, Andy. Hello, Sarah.
Well, I am excited to share about this fun tradition. We've talked about it, I think, here on the Coffee Hour. I know we've talked about it here at KFUO. It's been a little while since we've had a chance to talk about it. The Christmas Country Church Tour. I know my family has gone for many years. I'm trying to remember how far back this goes. Can you share with us some of the history, Trish?
Sure. So the Christmas Country Church Tour started in 2005. And how it began was, we all decorate for the holidays and we make our houses beautiful and as well as our churches. And there's a lot of love and emotion that goes into decorating our churches. And we had a lady here in Perry County, Missouri by the name of Mary Jane Buckite. And she thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if we opened up our churches during the holidays for people to go in and see what our churches look like? We all know what our churches look like, but we may not know what our neighbor's church looks like. And it's just a really great community event. And so much like an open house, they started with 6 churches. We had 2 Catholic churches, 3 Lutheran churches, and a Baptist church, or a Methodist church, I'm sorry. And they just opened their doors for one evening for a few hours. And they got such rave reviews that other churches started wanting to join. And we fast forward now to today, and we actually have 40 churches that span 4 counties in Southeast Missouri that participate in our Christmas Country Church Tour.
Did you say 40?
So yes, we do.
Wow.
And these are all denominations. And what's so unique and special about these churches is their buildings are over 100 years old. So we get to tell the history of our immigration and our culture and where we come from and how our churches got built. And each church is so unique in their own story because we're unique as individuals. So it really does bring out the culture of these small towns. Many of them don't even exist anymore. We always say that our churches are the heartbeats of our community, and especially in the Midwest. And so it really gets us into those immigration stories and how communities got built. And many times the church buildings were the first things that happened in our communities.
Yeah, knowing all of that history is very interesting. I would love to go nerd out over some very old church history.
Well, you have 2 days to do that this year.
What is this?
We have photographers that come. We have historians, like you said, just history buffs, and those who get into all the nostalgia, because we encourage our churches. You open your doors, our hosts are always warm and inviting, and they get to share with you traditions, especially around the holidays, of how they decorate, whether you're German Lutheran or Scott Irish Presbyterian or English Methodist. We all bring a little bit of culture along with us, and we get to share those with people that may not be familiar with us. And somehow it always works in that you have a homemade cookie there on the refreshment table.
Mhm.
That was, great great grandma's recipe. And it just feels so warm and inviting.
How has this become part of the culture of this area of Missouri?
It's really become a holiday tradition. We look forward to it every year. We start planning in July, but many of these churches have been on the church tour for the past 16 years. So they are very, they know what they want to do. They know their history, and we're just passing it down to other generations now.
You mentioned earlier that there are 40 churches participating. Now, last time that I participated, I think there were just under 30, like 26, 27, somewhere around there. It's all the way up to 40. Tell us about the region of Missouri where we'll find these churches. You mentioned this spans a few counties as well.
Yeah, so our churches fluctuate, especially with the pandemic. We are up to 40 churches on our roster. We do have 32 churches this year that are participating, but the region is just so rural and small town. We really do. Our name is Christmas Country Church Tour, and we really do focus on those country churches, whether you're Lutheran, Catholic, Methodist, Baptist, Presbyterian. It's all inclusive. We do have 13 Lutheran churches on our tour this year, and so when you go into them, they speak of the Baden Lutherans that came here, or the Bavarian Lutherans, or the Saxon Lutherans, and they tell that story of how they found their way to Southeast Missouri because much of it reminded them of home. And so it's just a full circle that we tell that history and those traditions that they brought with them that are still resonating in our small communities today.
So tell us about the experience. If I'm going to go on this country church tour, what is my experience going to be like?
So your experience will span through the different churches, everything from brick and mortar masterpieces down to what I describe as Little House on the Prairie churches. They really do span the gamut of what their churches were back then. The National Shrine, located in Perryville, Missouri, is a 1/3 scale replica of their mother house in Rome. So you have beautiful fresco paintings and just it just looks so rich and artful, down to Pleasant Grove Baptist Church, which is just a one-room house that is done in creamy white walls and floors and wood, and it's ornately decorated with just natural cedar. That's some of the things that we find that people enjoy, is that so many live Christmas trees were of German descent here, mostly in Perry County. So Tannenbaums were a part of our history. So yes, we still go out and find those big, huge live cedar trees and bring them in and hang ornaments on them. But, we also tell the story at the McKendree Chapel, one of the first Presbyterian churches west of the Mississippi, of the cotton Christmas tree, and how they couldn't afford to have a tree, so they took a twig and wrapped cotton around it. So you will experience the wealth and the trials and tribulations of immigration and starting churches and finding love in your community with each and every one of these churches.
So how do we find these sites? How do we participate in the Christmas Country Church Tour?
So the Christmas Country Church Tour is a free event. We do not sell tickets or charge admission. Each one of the churches that you visit will have a donation box. If you feel like you want to drop a donation in there, you can get your list and map a few different ways. You can visit our website, visit perrycounty.com, and get our brochure and map off of that. You can also, if you're on Facebook, we have a Christmas Country Church Tour Facebook page that it's pinned to the top, or you are welcome to call our office at area code 573-517-2069 and request us to mail you a map and a list of the churches. And we would be happy to do that through our Perry County Tourism Welcome Center.
Sarah, are there any other historical facts or anything else that you want to know before we've got just a minute and a half before we wrap up?
I mean, I want to know all the things.
What are, Trish, you mentioned some of the older churches. Any idea which one might be the oldest that's on the tour this year?
So we actually have 3 churches that are over 200 years old. And these are the actual churches. And so they predate electric. So you will find these 3 churches in candlelight. And of course, they don't have plumbing. So we always joke. We even get people that take pictures of the outhouses at these locations, because it's just, again, it's something that is just country. And we don't even think about that anymore. You will find yourself off the beaten path. We encourage you to customize your route how you want, but you will find yourself on some gravel roads as well. So we just want you to take some time, slow down, reflect, reminisce, think about, your own Christmases in the past, and bring some family and friends and just enjoy each church that you visit.
The Christmas Country Church Tour. We'll share the link in the program notes today as well. And it's just going to be a fantastic time. The dates. I don't know if we listed the dates and times. Oh no, we almost went away without listing dates and times.
Yes. So it is December the 16th and 17th. That is a Thursday and Friday. You probably can give it your best shot, but you probably will not be able to visit all the churches. So just pick out some and come and enjoy yourself. The tour opens at 2 p.m., runs till 9 p.m. each night. So you get the best of both worlds. You get to see our beautiful countryside and agricultural areas of these communities as you travel from church to church. And then when the sun goes down, you get to see some beautiful church lights.
The 16th and the 17th, Thursday and Friday, coming up very soon. Mm-hmm. Hope everyone can enjoy it as much as possible. It is a beautiful tour. I think, Sarah, you and Mr. Gulseth should go and enjoy it, because I know how much you would enjoy.
I'm nerding out already.
All the history of it. Trish, thanks so much for spending some time with us. Trish Ersfeld, Director of Perry County Heritage Tourism, and the sharing with us the Christmas Country Church Tour today. Trish, thanks for being our guest on the Coffee Hour.
Thank you so much, and a Merry Christmas to everyone.
You're listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.